guys, welcome to this special episode of Caps Tech. On this episode, I invited Ma here to explain how she uses her device, the Ovilus 5. And she pretty much is the one that takes care of that. That's why she wears the chest cam, so that when you're watching her on camera and stuff, the Ovilus is right in front of it, and we not only get what she's looking at, but also everything that happens on the device. So today, for that reason, also, she's going to be wearing that so that we can cut to that video and show you what she's doing on the Ovilus and everything, and explain how it works. So, take it away.
Okay, comes in this handy dandy case. Protects it, and you just take it out. I don't know why it rattles. Something happened. Okay, it's got an on-off switch on the bottom. Turn it on, and it has a screen of choices. Okay, well, we'll start at the bottom here. This wrench is like your settings, and you know, you can go on there and erase stuff, and you know, whatever, if you save anything on there. So that's what that one is. This one looks like a little sonar or radar. It's gonna draw a circle. I'm starting at the bottom of the list, so I'm going backwards. It's gonna draw a circle, and if anything gets near it, it's more of a proximity thing. It just records energy of anywhere near it. Okay, so I gotta wait until it gets over there. Like if you reach, okay, see, it's not a lot because it only records a little bit of energy, but it will tell you if something is in the proximity of it. It's more like a REM pod or that kind of thing, where something gets near it, it's going to spike out. See, if you get too close to it. Okay, I'm gonna go back to home.
So that'll show us if anything comes within the vicinity of the device.
Yeah, it should be actually laying down like this, but I'm holding it up. Okay, then there is, I don't know what this is called, or what's next. The true and false mode. That's gonna it's just gonna sit there and draw a line, so you can see there's a kind of a green light at the top, there's a red light at the bottom. Right now it's going more to the less energy, so it's going to the red. Depending on, I guess, what you're talking to, you can decide whether less energy means true or less energy means false, you know, and then you can ask questions of it. Okay, now it's shooting up to the top, so I guess I'm telling the truth now instead of lying here. Okay, so see, and now, and it definitely went up to the top and lit up green, which means there was more energy than there was before, and now it's going back up to the top again. So everything I'm saying is true here, because true green is true.
On another episode, when we were discussing the REM pod and the Eddy, it seems like the Bluetooth that we're using to run our camera is actually interfering. So to remind everybody, we're going to do an episode that shows all of these paranormal devices. The false? False. All right, well, that's not true. There is something in my house.
From the time you started talking, it was going down. Now it went up again. Well, see, then I talk and it goes up. So I'm not sure. We haven't used this one a lot, because I haven't done a lot of paranormal stuff. It's been more of just other
energy fields,
woodsy kind of stuff. And so, okay, that's that. Now where are we?
Again, we are going to discuss in another episode with Derek. We will have all of the digital meters and the Ovilus, the REM pod, and all of our K2 meters and stuff all laid out, and then we will experiment with different things to see what actually triggers each one and how it affects it, so that you can see what's interfering with each device.
I should probably take this sticker off, but I like it on there. Protects my screen. Alright, where are we now? Phonic mode. Okay, there are two different kinds of talking this thing can do, and the phonic mode will kind of be like a spirit box, where you have to pick out the words and try and decide what they're saying. So here goes. If it wants to say anything at all. No. Oh. And again, there's like the meters, or the lights like on a meter, where if it'll get up to red on this side, that's more energy. Right now it only has like the 2 white ones and the yellow one, so it's just getting into the low range. But it's not really picking up anything. Let me lay it down here.
There is a lot of stuff charging underneath this desk too, so that has an impact on the
Can't even show
electromagnetic
you
field in here.
what it would do, but it kind of goes and tries to say the words phonically, instead of actually saying. Not a lot of things interfere with this. You know, so you can't, it's hard to make it go off. It has to actually, there. I did find that if I touch the antennas, I can make it do things. So you can kind of, you can kind of see that it's trying to say words, but you gotta kind of make it up yourself what it's really saying. It's like a spirit box where you're not sure what you're hearing. Okay, so this is motion mode. This is, I don't know what you call that, accelerometer? I don't know.
Accelerometer.
Okay. Well, it's actually responding to, is it movement this one is?
This one should be vibration.
Movement, yeah. So I could be moving it a little bit right now. If I set it down, it'll calm down. See?
Yep.
But it's
and
probably just,
tap on
yeah, it's just, so it's like if you lay it down somewhere and you're looking for footsteps or something, it will, yeah, it will notice that on, you know, a floor or staircase or something. So if you set it down and there's steps, I'm doing that.
So if you're doing an investigation where you're trying to determine like a spirit is supposed to walk up and down the hallways or something, you could set this on the floor and it would visually show you if something was moving. You don't have to rely on listening for the footsteps. You can actually see if there's a vibrational movement or something.
And each one of these modes can be recorded in here and saved, and then you can, you know, take it off afterwards.
Does this have an SD card in it, or?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think you just take a picture, a screen picture of it, you know, that I don't know, you're the one that takes the information off. I just put it on there.
Let me just
you know,
this box over here.
I'm old and technologically impaired.
Okay, it does have a headphone jack as well.
Yeah.
On the top.
But you have to get your own because I got my own.
Yeah, it doesn't come with the headphones.
You how does that work? Even though you have a headphone in there, it still talks out loud. I did find that out. So, you know, unless you go into the settings and put it on mute, it will still talk out loud.
Does not look like it has an external memory card. It all saves it internally, so you have to hook it up with a USB cable. Oops. And it also has a internal battery that you can charge with it. Mm-hmm. So you plug it in with just a USB cable. Looks like it comes with one here. Pulls out on both sides, kind of interesting. But again, you can use any one. This is a micro USB, not the mini. So it's the square one, the older style. They're a little bit harder to find, but you can find them online. And you use that to hook it up. And I assume then too you could plug it into the computer and download the information. We haven't actually done that because we've just used it for certain other things. We haven't had a lot of paranormal usage out of it just yet. So.
I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, when you do charge it, you have to leave it on because otherwise it just runs on that and never charges the battery. So it does have to be turned on in order to charge it. Oops. Okay, so energy mode is kind of like the other one, which is like that graph, like a heart, yeah, like a heartbeat.
Energy mode basically is like
There's no energy here.
It's kind of the same as your.
Yeah, it's a little more sensitive than the other one because even that took the stuff away instead of.
Yeah, it's not a vibration. It doesn't respond to vibrations like the other ones. What this does is more of like your K2 meters. Yeah. It shows you the spikes in energy and stuff of the around you. So it's basically a lot of different fancy
energy ratings.
Energies.
Okay, so I don't use that one much. Okay, then there is a draw mode, which it basically just puts blocks across the screen, and if it sees something interesting, it will show up on the screen. I've had like a line show up, but again, I haven't used this one a lot. It basically just fills the screen and then it starts over again. And if something were to show up, then it would show up.
Theoretically, an entity of some sort could use this mode to draw you a picture or a shape or something using the different energies between the low and the high energies. Again, relating back to like the electromagnetic field and the spectrum of that to draw that picture. So I don't know if you can see, like, by touching it and stuff and coming in here, you're creating that pattern. So that's the idea, is that, again, it's just another way to visualize the paranormal entity interacting with it.
You have more energy than I do because I don't make it do anything. It stopped. Oh, there it is. Yeah, see? I have no energy.
That's pretty. But anyway, but that is me doing that to it. Like, I am actually touching the antennas up there. So theoretically what would happen is if an entity or something came...
See, and you can't make it do that. You have to have some kind of energy to get it to do that.
That's
and
interesting.
I have
energy, apparently.
I have no energy. I'm just pretty blah.
I should have touched it on the other mode. But anyway, so that's basically showing you just how, like, if something passed through here, it would show up as a blip. Mm-hmm. The same, similar as like your
REM pod or
the REM pod or
the meters that light up.
The proximity mode on this device. So.
Okay. Back home. Okay, this is the one I use most often, and it's the ABC mode, and it's a dictionary mode. And if there is any energy in here, it will go into the machine, which has a energy level assigned to different words. I'm sorry. Okay, so everything has its own code number, and it obviously wants me to talk slower, son. And no,
it wants me to talk slower.
And it does have the other son too, and it calls him that. And usually when it wants my attention, it'll yell out L. So, yeah, there's some interesting words in here, and I can...
Banned.
Okay.
We have had some very spot-on readings with this thing where it knows exactly what's going on and it'll communicate with us, and then sometimes it might just pick up random energy or something.
And I can... But I...
Pushed. Okay.
Okay. Sometimes I can make it do things, or at least kind of jumpstart it into talking, but then again, I don't know if I'm really doing it or not. Sometimes when I touch the screen, see, I can make it, it shows there's some energy up there where it went to red, but it didn't say anything. So then again, I think it's not me that's doing it. Sometimes...
Together.
Yeah, I can make it say things.
Heavy.
Yeah, I know that. But then again, you do it again and it doesn't. So I don't always know that it's me making it. I mean, I've tried putting it by cell phones. It doesn't do anything. We've put it by other meters. It doesn't do anything. You know, it's not setting it off. But
We've
yet
put
if I walk in a certain spot, it will talk and talk and talk.
Mhm.
But then there's other times, you know, like this. Now it just stops.
And this is the mode that we most predominantly use it on when we're in like paranormal investigations and stuff. We have other devices that do, you know, the REM pod does the proximity detection, and the Eddy has the vibration sensor, and we've talked about those in other episodes. So this one we do predominantly use as the dictionary mode to see if anything will communicate. Okay.
And it'll
Eddy,
just keep
yeah.
going. And then you can actually go to log, and it will show you all the words that it has said. And this contains some that from a last investigation that we did. But so you can take that and then you can print that out, or not print it out, but take a picture of it or whatever, and have all the words that it did. And then I kind of document as I go along on camera where I am, what I'm talking to, or who I'm talking to, or, you know. And they've also decided that when I talk to the Ovilus like this, that you can see my face in the Ovilus, so you can see my expression talking to the thing. And there's been some interesting conversations.
Mhm.
So I think that's about all it does. We can go into here. Yeah, there's just the settings. It says mount SD card.
So it must take an SD card. It doesn't say anything about that in the instructions over here though, so
So yeah.
I don't know.
But then
I don't get to play with this that often.
You
That's
can
why
go in and
Ma's
clear
here.
the log out and start a new investigation with a whole new list of words and stuff. But yeah.
Well, without dismantling it, I am not seeing a spot
Yeah, I don't
for an
think-
SD card. So
That might have been the other version, because this is an updated version. The other version didn't work as well, so they updated it. Actually, I think this is a 5B. Yeah.
so
And
this
the original Ovilus 5 was not as good a quality, so they made some adjustments to it.
so this is from we got this from Ghost
Ghost
Shop.
Shop, yeah.
And there's also a website in here that says it's from digitaldowsing.com. So you can go there too and possibly get it cheaper or get one yourself. And I believe they're all made to order, so they don't just have them sitting there. They custom build them all.
Yeah, I had to
So
wait
it does take
quite
a while for you to get one. But
This goes underneath.
they are, again, rather expensive. But
Yeah.
if you're going to do some serious investigating, I mean, it does give pretty accurate readings once in a while. It has come up with some very on par things that we've talked to, asked it questions, and it'll answer. And then sometimes it does just go off the wall and come up with some random stuff. So
Especially around power lines and things, you know. I mean, when there's other electrical stuff around it.
it's hard
Gets a little
to
nuts.
it's hard to determine whether or not this thing actually picks up the EMF radiation or not, because like I said, we've tried it around the power lines, we've tried it like at microwaves and televisions and stuff, things that would normally set off an EMF meter, and they don't affect this thing at all. But a random metal shelf will, or just other things that you wouldn't, you know, so it's hard to say like that. It can be triggered, so it's hard to say if it's giving you a fake reading or not. I would say that more likely or not it is picking up some form of energy, but we haven't been able to determine what it's picking up aside from paranormal. So
I do test it by touching these, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, sometimes it makes it do things, and other times it doesn't. So I don't know if that's really.
so
not.
we will be putting this to the test with a few of our other gadgets in another episode, so watch for that, and you can see how it compares to the other equipment that we have as well. So check that out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.